It's time for the KickAround, the Ticket's weekly show all about soccer. 2 hours of HSOs on the clubs, leagues, and tournaments of the world's game. It doesn't matter if you're new to the sport, don't worry. This is the Ticket. We're just kicking it around. Now, our very own yellow and red card. Andy Swift and Peter Welpton.
Partially cleared, Crystal Palace in the muddle. And it came through to Buckley Ricketts, and it's in. Oh, how about this? It's a horror show for the goalkeeper. It's a horror show for the holders. Macclesfield 2, Crystal Palace 0. If not the greatest shock in FA Cup history, it is certainly one of them.
Wow. The romance of the FA Cup in full effect. Hi-de-ho, P1s, and welcome to the KickAround. Saturdays, whenever they'll let us, here on Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310, The Ticket, where you, the good P1, sits around, talks soccer, and all that implies. Hello again. I'm Peter, and to my left, but to your right, as you look with great admiration, anticipation, and love into your broadcasting box or streaming device, it is the world's most interesting man, Andy Swift.
Peter, should I be scared? You're talking about the romance of the FA Cup and now love. What are you saying? Why are you looking at me like that with those eyes?
Because the FA Cup...
Is there something I don't know about?
The FA Cup...
What's up?
The FA Cup brings out...
the romantic.
The romantic. Especially on a day like today. For the first time in 155 years, a sixth-tier team has bested the holders of the FA Cup.
Just so people understand, sixth tier is basically the lowest tier where guys get paid. It is.
Yeah.
Because it's below
the National League. Yeah, so if you're just to kind of put this perspective on it, when you started watching Welcome to Wrexham, and they talked about how Wrexham was playing in this fifth tier, and you were like, wow, this is like the semi-pro. Well, this team that beat Crystal Palace today is in the tier lower than that.
Right. It's not single A baseball. It's like rookie ball. And they beat a major league team.
There's actually additional notes about Macclesfield. I don't know if you know that we'll get into here a little bit later on. We got a lot of stuff to do on the show today, Andrew. We have, we will talk about FA Cup results. We're kind of past the midway point in the Premier League season, and we haven't really taken an accounting of where you and I think everything stands. I think maybe today, since it's an FA Cup weekend, is a good opportunity to kind of go through
We broached the subject last week a little bit. But
best and worst moments or things about the season so far that we can get into.
I can tell you that. Okay. Yeah.
I have been told, I'm only kind of casually aware that there are some openings in terms of manager positions within the Premier League.
Interesting. I'm going to look up and see what teams those are.
Would you do that? Would you just kind of research that? So we'll get into that. Daniel Robertson will be joining us today to talk all about Serie A.
Italian food?
Italian food. I'm sure if you ask him a question about ravioli, he'll do ragu. He'll talk to you about that.
Okay.
But specifically, Christian Pulisic, what's going on with Weston McKennie's contract at Juve.
Luka Modric, what's he doing these days
sure,
at Serie A?
We could do that. And then, high alert to everybody. World Cup Nerd today. It's a special edition.
World Cup Nerd meets Kit Nerd?
Can't wait.
We're going to do some kit talk.
So Kit Nerd is coming out, shaking hands with World Cup Nerd. What segment is that? When are we doing that?
That'll be next hour. How about that?
All right.
So we'll do that. But let's do the most important of all the ones. Yes. So as we said this morning, something rather dramatic took place. Crystal Palace, it took them 120 years to win the FA Cup. It took them one game against a semi-pro team to lose the FA Cup.
To relinquish the trophy.
To relinquish the trophy.
Man.
What a result. So the Macclesfield is a club. I don't know if you know this, but they actually went bust in 2020.
Macclesfield Town did.
Yes. And so this is the reformation of that team that has now been promoted 4 straight seasons in a row to get to the 6th tier.
Because they were farther below where they are now, and somebody bought them. Like when they got absolved because they had debt, as they do, the FA does, right?
Yeah.
So the person that bought them had to pick up the debt, which was $500,000, and pay a little bit for the stadium. So he got it for pennies on the dollar, but he was down like 8th level.
I love the fact that the team that won and beat the defending champions of the FA Cup, their sponsor is a company called Duck and Cover.
Okay.
Right across the chest. Just says Duck
what
and
product?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
maybe it's like a hunting outfit or something like that.
So their most famous player up to this point was one Mike Rooney, Rooney's brother.
Wayne's, yes.
Yeah. Who retired this summer. And now guess who the coach is?
Rooney. Yeah,
Rooney's
yes. There was 115 spots between Crystal Palace and Macclesfield.
Like in the standings, if you added all,
if you were to add all the English clubs together into one single table, that's the distance. So pretty crazy. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's unfortunate or good news. Chris Richards made his return from injury.
I don't know if you watched the game or at least the highlights.
I've seen the highlights.
That second goal that they conceded.
He's not the only.
No,
the
but
whole
it was a
team.
Keystone Cops.
Little Keystone Cops. So congratulations, it's a big deal. We'll get into the full day of the FA Cup here in the next segment in a few minutes. The AFCON is continuing to go on. The quarterfinals are taking place. This actually through today. Earlier today, Algeria lost to Nigeria 2-0. So Nigeria moves on to the semifinals, and Egypt, Mo Salah will take on Amad Diallo in the Ivory Coast at 1 p.m.
Senegal is the other semifinalist. They beat Mali. But Morocco, they just look good. I mean, they handled Cameroon pretty easily. Well, not easily, but 2-0. And Cameroon's a decent side.
Morocco's going to win it.
They're
the home team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've been probably the most. I mean, my understanding is not that I've been watching it, but from reading the reviews and seeing the highlights, I feel like they've been the most consistently solid team through the tournament.
Morocco's just been a good national team over the last 10 years.
They're going to be good in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if we see something out of them in the World Cup. Yes, it was funny because yesterday it was Morocco versus Cameroon. So Manchester United fans were trying to figure out which of the teams they wanted to win because either
to get players back,
either Mbeumo would come back or Mazraoui would come back.
Yeah.
Which one did we need more in this new formation?
Who did you vote for? You just want a coach at this point.
I don't really care.
Boy.
All right, so the other thing that's happening, obviously, is the World Cup. And it's coming up soon. And this is one of those weird little nerdy things that I particularly pay attention to. But yesterday, I thought this happened early. I don't know if this was like an official announcement or leaked out. But Germany announced that they will make their base camp at Wake Forest in North Carolina.
Well, was that a leak or an official?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was an official announcement. I mean, the process is that national teams turn into FIFA, and they rank, what venues they want as their base camps, and then FIFA ultimately awards those. And we know that it largely based on your FIFA ranking, you get dibs. Except there's a little small caveat. If there's a national team that is playing multiple games in a venue and you, a highly ranked national team, is playing only one match in that venue and desire the same one they do, FIFA does have at their discretion the ability to then give it to the team with 2 matches in that venue. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But with Germany, I don't know. Maybe they just said, hey, this is where we're going to play, and they got word from FIFA that they will get it. I don't know.
So since Argentina and Japan are playing 2 games here in Dallas in the group stage, is it likely that both those teams will pick?
If they want to base camp here and they choose it, it's likely that they will get their choice. But we don't know what they've chosen or what they will choose.
For a bit.
Yeah.
We also got word this week that there will be some official friendlies being taken place here in the United States leading up to the World Cup in March. Brazil, Colombia, France, and Croatia, Andy,
is playing a friendly where?
They'll stage games in Boston, Orlando, and D.C., They'll happen in late March when Brazil squares off with France at Gillette up in Foxborough. And then the other game, I'll have to figure it out in here. Yeah, so the other teams will Colombia taking on Croatia in Orlando in that same time. So there you go.
Colombia and Croatia as a friendly, right?
As a friendly,
yeah, okay.
yes. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, because as we get closer to the World Cup, everybody's going to scramble for opportunities to play games and try to figure out how to, the U.S. has some really interesting, heady opposition coming up. Yeah. Now, they're all friendlies. They don't mean much, but it's an opportunity to get right with ball.
Yep.
And they're not doing it against minnows. They're playing some significant teams coming up in the next few months. So that is a big deal.
And speaking of the U.S., and we spoke about Chris Richards, so I guess he's back, all good, and he's part of it. Yeah,
I mean, so apparently whatever that injury was in that league game, somebody came down on his foot and cut his foot open.
Oh.
And it required a bunch of stitches, both internally and externally, and it just kept swelling enough that he couldn't put on a shoe and play, so they had to wait till it was completely healed before he could come back.
What's an internal stitch?
So, like, if you get a laceration so deep to repair it, they actually have to suture down lower.
That sounds gross.
Yeah, and then they kind of go.
All right, we can move on. Next.
Are you?
I'm very
blood,
squeamish. Oh my god,
blood squeamish.
I'm the worst.
Really?
Yes.
Oh no.
Top 5 in the world.
Is that blood?
Really?
Yeah, probably. I'm bad. Yeah.
I didn't know this.
I'll eat whatever you put in front, but when it comes to that,
yeah, you're a guy that'll eat like eyeballs and intestines.
I'll have snails at a random stadium in Belgium from a concession stand, but I cannot look at a drop of blood.
Even your own?
Especially my own.
Really?
Yeah, I can more do somebody else's than mine.
So if you're getting your blood drawn,
I can't. It's a process.
Okay. See, I can't watch.
Process.
I can't watch. Oh,
I got to lie down, get the wet towel. Yeah. I can't. There's something about blood coming out of me that just skews me out.
Scares you, worries you?
I'm not made for battle, man. I would last 12 seconds in battle.
Today we learned something about Mr. Swift, and I love it. All right, when we come back, it was a big day in the FA Cup, everybody. We'll talk about it next year on the KickAround. The best and the worst so far of the halfway point or thereabout of the Premier League season. Coming up in about 15, 20 minutes here on Ye Old Kick-Around. Howdy. Yes, we are on early again today. And I will tell you, we will be on early again next weekend.
Wow, soothsayer.
Another 7 big soccer talking segments coming up next weekend as well. Hi, I'm Peter. That's Andy. Today is a big day in the FA Cup over in England, and as we mentioned, the biggest of all the results. It has to be the greatest upset in the history of the FA Cup, right?
Today's.
Today's.
Yes,
Macclesfield beating.
There's no doubt.
Okay.
Plus,
I mean, there's been some big ones.
Yeah, no, this is the lowest seed beating a top tier team ever,
or the holding champion.
The first time it's ever happened.
Yes,
and it happened to be the defending champion.
Right, yeah. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny because last night, there was one kind of notable game in the FA Cup, and that was Wrexham hosting Nottingham Forest. Now, obviously, Wrexham arrives with all of the fanfare of Rob and Ryan and the TV show and all this stuff, but Wrexham beat Forest in PKs yesterday, and were really the better team for long stretches of that match. They were up 2-0, 3-1, and Forest through really one player, Hudson-Odoi, who had 2 just really nice goals. Tied at 3-3. It went to PKs. Wrexham's keeper saves 2 really good penalties, makes 2 really good saves, and they end up winning 4-3 on PKs. And they go through. Now, I would say that's a significant result, even if you take the Rob and Ryan part out of it. Mm-hmm. But Ryan Reynolds being there in the stadium with his mommy
made it all a bigger deal. Yeah, no doubt. This is, man, and there's, that they've climbed up in the table too, right?
They are 9th in the table. They are 1 point
Yeah.
away from a playoff spot, and they are 4 points out of an automatic promotion spot.
Yeah. So the point there is that as this season started and things didn't start off swimmingly for them, we're like, okay, reality is hit. Okay, yeah. But, slowly but surely, look at them.
Yeah, Parkinson has done a really nice job. They are hard to play against.
And Ryan Reynolds is there today. FA Cup game, by the way, right? Not a league.
Right.
FA Cup game. Pre warm-ups, he's downfield level, high-fiving the player. He's just a presence, too.
Yeah, well,
He is invested. He is in it.
They 100% are. If they get promoted to the Premier League,
Different story.
they will no longer be invested.
They'll
will
be
sell
invested
out.
emotionally.
They will be invested
Yeah.
emotionally.
That's
but
what
they
I
will-
mean.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
They have done a tremendous job, and I think we're at a point now where a lot of people are starting to pick a nit over how much money that has been spent to get them to this point, but that's what the structure allows.
Yep.
So they've just taken advantage of it. But beating Forest yesterday in the manner that it happened, man, those goals, there were so many nice goals in this game to begin with. 6 goals in the game. 4 of them were really, really nice goals. Wrexham had so many opportunities to win the game in regulation and just didn't take all their chances. So that was a big deal, and congratulations to them.
And one thing we should point out, there's been one consistent figure other than the owners with this club since they took over. For the most part, I think they made the manager change early, and that's
Phil.
Phil
Parkinson's
He
done a
has been
tremendous
awesome.
job. Yeah,
he really has.
He really has, and they are, like I said, they are hard to play against, and he has been helpful in them kind of figuring out how they change players. It's funny, a lot of people probably watch that game. That may be the first time they've seen Wrexham play, and they're like, well, I don't recognize any of these players. Yeah, dude, if you just watch season 1 of Welcome to Wrexham, it's a completely different team.
Roster transition.
Very, very different team. So they go through. So the other kind of crazy game today was Sunderland versus Everton at Everton's new stadium. So Everton rolls out kind of a goofy lineup, and they end up fumbling about, and this whole thing ends up going to PKs. And I think this goes into the things I don't think I've ever seen happen in a soccer game before file. A team is the first penalty taker in each of the rounds, promptly misses their first 3 kicks, and has the opposition score its first 3, and penalties are over in like 4 minutes.
And we should say 3 saves, by the way, not.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
all
3 saves.
So 3 saves by the keeper, 3 conversions by the players.
Sunderland player.
Yeah. 47 seconds in, we're done.
And Everton is out of the FA Cup. And Beto and Barry, both with some really poor PKs. Those 2 guys, Everton's strike force is so meager.
Those are tired legs.
So we mentioned Crystal Palace and Macclesfield. Congratulations to them, a 6th-tier team beating the holding champions, the first time that has ever happened in 155 years. Wolves, check out Wolves beating up on Shrewsbury 6-1. I think Wolves are starting to figure some stuff out.
4th level Shrewsbury. Okay.
Yeah, well, hey, you do what you got to do, man.
At home. Okay.
Crystal Palace lost to 6th tier. So,
Yeah.
okay. Burnley beat Millwall today 5-1. Fulham and Middlesbrough. This was a tougher game. I think Middlesbrough actually took the lead initially in this with a really nice sequence of play, some passing in the box, but Fulham ended up winning that game 3-1. And then Man City hosted little old Exeter. And I think there was a lot of hope that what happened in the Macclesfield Crystal Palace thing, like a dream situation. Man, this was a brutal slaughter.
It was. The difference being that they were playing in City.
They were at City, yes.
Yeah, and
City, and so
they rolled out a good lineup.
Antoine Semenyo makes his debut for Man City out on the left.
The little Norwegian forward playing as well.
Holland played, yes. City ends up winning this game. If you're not sitting down, sit down. 10-1.
But 2 own goals, so 10-3.
You mean
8-3. 8-3, yeah.
City, yes, and Antoine Semenyo scores his first goal for City. Lots of goal scorers. It was no contest. The crazy part about this is that if you're into the XG stat, City scored 10 goals on an XG of less than 3.
No.
Yes.
They
like
just put everything away,
2.6.
basically.
Yeah, everything went in. That was one of those days. And then kind of an interesting note for the kick around here. Sheffield Wednesday lost to Brentford at home today. And the reason why this is of interest to those of us here at the kick around, on the bench as the backup keeper was Dallas Fort Worth's FC Dallas's and the kick-around's own Julian Eyestone.
So he was the true backup.
He was the backup keeper in it. He's the third keeper for the first team.
And tradition is the backup gets to play the
second keeper
gets to play the cup games. So then, therefore, he then became the backup.
So it would have been really unfortunate if I think he's Norwegian, the Scandinavian backup keeper had gotten a tummy ache or something before the game or hurt during the game, and poor Julian got to come, and that would have been really unfortunate. Yeah, you never want to wish injury or illness on somebody, Andy.
Yeah. Just the fact he was on the bench, though, very cool.
Yes, and then Tottenham and Aston Villa are playing right now. I think I'm correct in saying Villa's up 1-0. Charlton host Chelsea at 2 p.m. Then tomorrow,
Did you mention that Newcastle beat Bournemouth?
I did not. Go ahead.
Penalties. They tied 3-3. Each got a goal in extra time, and then Newcastle won PK 7-6. But I'm just thinking Semenyo with City scores a goal, they win 10-1, and his team loses out on PKs.
I'm worried.
If he was there, I think they win that game.
I'm worried about Bournemouth, man.
We'll talk about that a little bit later.
So tomorrow, a whole slate of games. Leeds is at Derby. Arsenal is at Portsmouth. Let's see. And then West Ham is hosting Queen's Park Rangers, and Manchester United and Brighton face off against
Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans.
Well, 2-1.
Darren Fletcher's game 2. So we'll see how that all comes together. So that's the slate of FA Cup games. Oh, and then Monday, your Liverpool has a home game against Barnsley. What tier is Barnsley in? Do you know?
3.
League 2?
3.
League
yeah,
one?
they're League 1.
League 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Salford City and Swindon Town play their game on the 20th, which is, I think, after
Tuesday. Yeah.
Why are they?
I have no idea.
Maybe something with the facilities, but they'll be in the draw. They'll just whoever they draw against will say they'll say the winner of that game.
Yeah. All right. Well, very good. Big day in the FA Cup. Congratulations to everybody and the historic win by Macclesfield, which is a really, truly remarkable. You watched the whole game?
I did. I didn't watch it live when it was developing. On ESPN, you can go and start from.
So I didn't realize
0.
this until I was reading a review. The Macclesfield Stadium surface is artificial.
It is, and there was frost on it this morning when they played. So it was cold. It was cold. The surface was hard. The ball was hard. It was just not. It was not a pretty game to watch at all.
Yeah, this is one of
very
those
ping-pongy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is the third round is a great opportunity to turn on ESPN Plus and pick up one of these games that are being played at a tiny little venue that you normally don't see on TV. I mean, what does it hold? 3,000 people, maybe?
If that, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean. It's like a junior high stadium here in North Texas.
Yeah, packed
and
to the.
And
it
it's packed with people. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a fantastic
Good fun.
scenes all the way around. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, let's get into the Premier League. What's happened so far? How are we feeling about stuff? Andy's doing okay with Liverpool. We'll talk about it next year on the Kick Around. Our buddy Daniel Robertson will be joining us in, let's say, a little less than an hour to talk all about Serie A, Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, and stuff like that. All the Italian stuff coming up here on the Kick Around. Welcome back. We are now just past halfway in the 25-26 Premier League season, Mr. Swift. And I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to kind of take this in the next segment to take an accounting of where we are,
Okay.
Discuss some kind of best and worst.
We're at the Ticket Studios.
We'll do all this stuff about the Premier League. My feeling at this particular moment in time, based on how everything is going, or has gone so far, is that if you were to look at the table now in the Premier League, while this is not in alignment with my preseason predictions,
drum roll,
that I think the end of the season will end up looking a lot like the table is in this moment.
Well, you're going out on a limb, Arsenal being 6 points in front of City and Villa at this
point. But I think there's more to it than just that. I think it's like the Champions League spots and
sure, injuries could happen. It is Arsenal's to lose. That's stating the obvious, though, because they are 6 points in front and they are in first place. And it's theirs to lose, and they're playing the best footy of any other team at the moment, right? Collectively.
Please don't
body
call
of
it
work.
footy.
Yeah, did that for you. But we have seen in prior seasons, prior editions of the Premier League, that things can change a little bit towards the end and get wonky as injuries pile up. And as the effects of playing deep in European competition, the effects of that on your squad. And Villa's playing Europe. So is City. And so is Arsenal. So that's when the dark horse comes from behind. Whoever is in fourth now just comes through. Let's see who's in fourth. So maybe it's Liverpool's opportunity to make up some ground and vie. No, I think it's a three-way race. And are you surprised that it's these three as opposed to Arsenal, City, and Liverpool? With Villa being in there. Yeah, of course you are.
I thought, obviously, I think I predicted Liverpool to win the season. And I think I had Chelsea second and Arsenal third. Now, I had also predicted Arsenal would win Champions League.
You're a fool.
Well, sure. Okay. But what I didn't have, what I find interesting at this point of the season, while the top three are grouped pretty tightly within each other, the distance between third and fourth is not a small gap. It's 8 points. But then from fourth down to 12th, where Everton is 6 points. Fourth to 12th.
Yeah, it's tight.
It's crazy how compact it is.
We've talked about that. Recently now, this is just fact now in Premier League. This is what happens. You have teams that in the past, you used to have your top six and they were just going to do it and whatever. Now you have what we call B-level teams doing really well. It's not necessarily the same ones every year, but we do have a lot more parity.
Well, it's just take this into consideration. First off, it does feel like this is Arsenal's season to lose. City now has drawn its last 3 games and probably not playing up to City's fragile right now because they're missing their 2 starting center backs to injury, probably for longer than they would like to. And they now they have Anton Semenyo, but I think they're still very broken in the back, and I don't know how that's going to play out. Villa started the season so badly that they didn't even score a goal until, I think I'm saying this correctly, the 5th game of the season.
Yeah, they got off to a horrendous start.
Then they corrected it. They got the boat upright. And now they're playing so well, they're up to 3rd. But then think about Brentford. Brentford lost their best attacking player, they lost their manager, and they lost their captain. The guy that is managing them now today, I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying, wasn't even their first choice to be Thomas Frank's replacement.
But he was the assistant, right?
There was another assistant who they originally wanted.
Who went somewhere else.
Left.
Yeah.
I think he may have gone to Newcastle or something. So this was like the second choice dude. And Brentford now are on such a good run. They're up to 5th.
Yeah, but my question to you, because I think a few weeks back I asked you, is the biggest surprise, are you more surprised that Sunderland is where they are and instead of something else? I forgot what that was. And you say, yeah, definitely Sunderland. But I think Brentford being 5th is a bigger surprise than Sunderland doing so well now, right?
Well, Sunderland's down to 10th now, but yes, since you asked me that question, I would say Brentford is even a bigger surprise. Well, I would say Brentford being at this point now,
many picked them to get relegated.
Sunderland, I think, was a preseason relegation obvious one for everybody. I think Sunderland is, if we were going to do best and worst, I think the most surprising team over the course of the season in my mind is absolutely Sunderland.
You do?
Oh, 100%. Just based on the most recent history, the fact that they chose and elected to go essentially rebuild the roster with a lot of new additions, and
you
how
thought
that has
Brentford had a better chance of going up and being top 5, top 6, even top 10
Sunderland?
than Sunderland.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because people weren't giving Brentford any kind of a chance.
Well, it's a close race between those two.
Would you give the Brentford coach like coach of the year so far, as opposed to the Sunderland coach then?
Well, I think
Keith Andrews.
I think you would have to wait and see how the season plays out.
No, I said so far.
It would be close.
Yeah.
I think is really Sunderland has really been impressive, although they lost today in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's 1A, 1B in terms of impressiveness, in terms of where they are. I mean, the fact that Sunderland now is 3 points behind Brentford in the distance between 5th and 10th, I think also is telling. United is a great example of this. So United have not beaten this season any of the teams in the lowest 7 positions in the table. If they had just beaten Leeds, Wolves, or Burnley over the course of the last 3 games instead of drawing them, they would be in 4th place by like 5 points.
You know, only 3 teams have lost less matches than United, and those are the top 3 teams.
Yeah.
They only have 5 losses, but they have a lot of draws.
Boy, yeah, you'll draw yourself to death.
Yeah.
So Chelsea's obviously an interesting situation. I guess my question for you is, if you had to say who you think is the most impressive team so far this year, not necessarily in terms of surprise, just in general, like the team that you're most impressed with, who would it be?
No, it's Arsenal, and this is why. I thought this year we were going to have the lowest point total for a champion, and like since Leicester won it, which was the lowest point we've had.
2016.
And then it's like 10 years. And I'm looking now at Arsenal's point total, and they will exceed. They're on pace to exceed 90 points. That's pretty impressive, because it's not just these days. You don't only have to to get to that point total. You don't only have to do well against those top teams and get good results against the Cities and the Liverpools. You also have to get results against teams that are middle of the pack, that are better these days than they were in the past. And it's a lot harder these days to roll out a record with only 2 losses in 21 matches than it used to be. And that's why I think Arsenal is having a really good year. And I think they've been consistent, and they're well coached. Arteta, nobody talks about him as doing a great job this year, but he has, right?
Yes.
And when you look at, there's no one player with Arsenal that you can point to and say, there's a lot of candidates that Arsenal have for player of the year, which means they have 4 or 5 guys that are collectively driving this season that they're having, which is also indicative of how good they are, right? Because too often it's like one guy, like with City. It was
Erling Haaland.
Haaland, no, the sixth.
Kevin De Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
Rodri.
Rodri. Thank you, God. Rodri, right? And Rodri goes down, and suddenly the team. Arsenal goes through some situations where Saka, he's out.
Right. Odegaard went down. Gabriel.
And they keep on rolling, which means they're deep, they're good, and so that's what I think.
So do you think Semenyo?
It seems trite to say that, but I think they're solid.
Yeah, but
this is not a fake.
No, but
49 points.
I also feel like Arsenal's low point, like they haven't hit the low ebb yet. Every team over the course of a Premier League season has a low point.
Sure.
And I don't think we've seen that out of Arsenal yet.
Okay, but I can only talk about the body of work so far.
No, I know. Yeah. I'm talking about as we just move forward.
Okay.
So the question I'm leading into is the race for Mark Guy, by the way, the center back from Crystal Palace. Now, there are 3 teams that are vying for him. Initially, we thought he was absolutely going to Liverpool, but now City is desperate for a center back because Stones and the 2 other guys are all injured long term. They're in on him, and now Arsenal's in the chase.
Yeah, but why? It's because Arsenal has Gabriel.
And Saliba. But I think they are absolutely in the race. They're putting in to see if they can get
to keep them away from City.
Maybe, yeah. The question is, will this season in some ways come down to where Mark Guy ends up going? If he ends up going to Liverpool, does he help Liverpool enough to change their fortunes?
Yeah, but even if Liverpool's fortunes change, they're not going to catch Arsenal. They're 14 behind Arsenal.
Little Liverpool faith.
Well, they're 14 points behind Arsenal with City. No, come on.
Okay.
You think Liverpool can? No, come on. You got to be realistic, and I think Liverpool's shooting for top 4, and that's great. It's fine.
But if Guy ends up going to Liverpool, that means he's not at City, which may change. Now, if City ends up getting him,
that'll help them a lot.
They've also got Antoine Semenyo now, who I think is going to help them a lot.
Yeah, so that's something to keep an eye on, and it's City. I mean, City's goal difference is plus 26, which is Arsenal's goal difference.
Go with me here, Andy. I'm trying to talk everybody into the idea that we may still have a title race.
That's what I'm saying. If anybody can do it, I mean, it's City.
Not Villa?
No, I don't think Villa.
They've already hit their ebb. They started their season on an ebb.
Look at the difference in goal difference. I mean, goal difference, I know it's a stat, but it's a stat that shows body of work as well. And theirs is plus 9 in 21 matches. Arsenal and City are at plus 26. Clearly the two best teams in the Premier League.
All right, let's think about the other side of this coin. Who so far this season are the biggest disappointment?
I think Forest, it was disappointing that there was going to be regression to the mean, but I didn't foresee a drop that far down to where they're in kind of relegation danger. I think we're at the point now where West Ham,
yes,
and that might be one of the ones that are more disappointing than anybody. Burnley and then Wolves. I predicted Wolves would go down, so I'm not shocked that they're in the relegation zone. I'm shocked everybody is how bad they are. Burnley, no surprise there, but the Hammers at only 14 points after 21 matches is pretty bad.
It's all sorts of bad, and you do begin to wonder what this looks like if West Ham gets relegated and they're playing in that massive stadium in the Championship.
I think it helps. I think they come up quickly.
You'd hope
because
so.
they're gonna invest in a roster that'll get them up.
Well, but that's the problem. They've been investing. They just don't invest well.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and Spurs, right, would be the other surprise on the downside. I think their fans were hoping for a little bit better season than this after last year.
Look, here's the thing. All of the players that were scoring goals for Spurs last year, think of the list of their top 4 goal scorers last year. They're all either no longer with the team or unavailable. And the guys that they have in their place aren't historically great goal scorers themselves or proven Premier League goal scorers.
True.
And a lot of people are all over Thomas Frank, and I still believe that guy knows what he's doing. And I hope they are patient with him and give him an opportunity for them to get Kulusevski back and Madison back and some of these other players to really show what I think he's capable of doing as a manager, and they don't pull the trigger too quickly.
Well, does Dan Levy leaving, does that give Frank more time in a way?
You'd hope so, but I don't know. I mean, man, like listening to Lars.
Yeah.
Lars is kind of done with it at this point as a Spurs. Oh, yeah. Like he's like, this team is bad. Like,
and he's because of Frank?
He thinks Frank, I think he has questions as to whether or not Frank's up for this.
That's interesting. I mean, he watches that team a lot more closely than you and I do.
I've watched him a lot, and and Lars is correct. They're not very good.
Yeah.
And they don't, and he continues to put 2 center midfielders out there that refuse to pass the ball forward.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem. They're a weird team to watch, but I still think Thomas Frank knows what he's doing. He did so many good things with a very tiny roster at Brentford. You would think, given the right opportunity at Spurs, when he has his full collection of firepower at his disposal, that he could do more things with them.
Yeah, but Brentford was a different animal, different kind of players. Hey, 100%. Any surprises on your end before we go? Anyone else we didn't mention?
You know what? I would say Liverpool is a big surprise for me.
You do? Yeah. You think it's too much from where, like they've fallen too far from winning?
Yeah, I don't. Maybe this is naive of me, but I'm surprised that they have not been able to get more out of some of these all the money they spent. Isak is set him aside, but Wirtz and some of these other guys they've picked up just not playing as well, and the settling of the team. Maybe I'm also not paying enough attention or discounting the Diego Jota situation. But
then let me ask you, Liverpool. Is that drop worse in your eyes than Chelsea and where they are versus expectations?
Interesting.
And they're in 8th. I think Chelsea's drop is not a bigger surprise, but a bigger disappointment than Liverpool's drop from 1st to 4th. Because expectations heading in, I didn't have Liverpool winning it. You did. Lars and I didn't. But you had Chelsea pretty high.
I had them second. Yeah, I did. Yeah,
because they won the Club World Cup, and we know how much that matters.
I got sucked into that vortex.
Yeah, you did.
I did, and all that hype. Yeah, interesting. All right, well, let's keep going on with this conversation. There are apparently, I'm told, some openings for manager positions in the Premier League. Let's get into all of that. Manchester United, Chelsea, and yes, even Tottenham. The chances of them looking for a manager. We'll talk about that next year on the KickAround. Okay, steel yourself because you'll either be super excited or very turned off by what's coming up in the next 15 minutes as World Cup Nerd Kit Talk Edition is finally going to happen. Here, like I said, in about 15 minutes.
Your favorite subject in the whole world.
I love it.
Kit Talk.
Our good friend Steve Davis hates Kit Talk, famously dislikes it.
It bores me.
Oh, so are you going to be one of these?
I always make fun of you.
So do you want me just to sit here by myself and do this?
No, because it's World Cup Kit Talk.
Oh,
and so
now it's a different topic.
Yes,
I see.
Yes,
okay, now it's a different thing.
When it's club Kit Talks, like yes, I'm with Steve in this one.
Yes,
but not World Cup.
Very good. So, yes, Kit Talk coming up here in about 15 minutes. I did want to ask you. About going back into the Premier League conversations about the Arsenal-Liverpool game earlier this week.
Oh, yeah.
That ended up in a pair of donuts.
Yes.
Here's my observation.
Although I thought it was a good game, but...
Well, yeah, 0-0 games can be interesting. Mm-hmm. I felt like that was a great result for Liverpool based on how poorly I thought they played in the first half. I don't know what Slot did at halftime.
Dude.
But they were so much better in the second half, and
even though they hit the crossbar in the first half, by the way. But
fair, yes, Connor. That would have, dude. That would have been.
And there was
that would have been
shot.
The most. Yeah. That would have been the most sucker of sucker punches in the history of the sport.
No, I agree.
I just thought Liverpool really had to grind to get a 0-0 result, and I thought that was a very... I mean, the fact that now they've played Arsenal twice and gotten 4 points out of the 2 games is a big deal.
Was the PK shout in the first half also? I think it was. So Liverpool, in the first half, despite playing so bad, like you said, still had a PK shout. Yeah, they had a PK shout. Furpong, I think, or somebody went down. To me, it wasn't a PK.
Okay.
Yeah, but there was a shout for it, and then the crossbar. Second half, I thought Liverpool actually was the slightly better team. And they're doing this on the road at Emirates.
So my question is, what changed?
I don't know.
I wasn't watching the game close enough to go, oh, he made this switch or this tactical change.
The only thing I could see, sorry to interrupt, was that Wirtz, he was the false 9. Mm-hmm. How do you pronounce his name?
Wirtz. Yeah.
Played more like a false 9. Like a true false 9 in the second half. And I think he's getting comfortable with that position because it's not his true position, but that's what they're doing because they don't have any forwards now,
right?
Which is odd. By the way, they didn't have a shot on goal for the first time in like 1,000 years. Did you know that?
I know, and that's what
it didn't seem like it, but
that also is what kind of weirds me out in saying that I thought they kind of played really well to get a 0-0 result. You know, it's weird to say the team has no shots on goal and yet still played well.
Yeah, a lot of it was they just maintained possession for large spells of the game. And at Arsenal, at the end of that game, not to hijack the conversation about that game, but at the end of the game, set piece, corner. Did you watch the game? I guess you did.
Yeah.
Inches.
Yeah, just missed it.
Inches from a header. Going
Yeah,
in.
I think Allison was in a good position
You think?
to save
I don't
it
know,
if,
man.
if he had put his head on it.
I don't know. Anyway.
So here's a completely wackadoodle question related to both Slot and Arteta. One, so over the course of the season, because Liverpool has kind of sputtered, Slot has caught a little bit of flack, a little bit of heat about his situation at Liverpool. Are you fine with him in his position as manager?
Yeah, because he has a skin on the wall with the champion. I mean, that buys you time.
I agree. Now, here's my more wackadoodle question. If somehow Arsenal doesn't win the Premier League this season,
that's a very good question.
Is Arteta in trouble?
I don't think they move him along. It's a fair question. But I think he stays. I don't think they move him along.
Man,
because it also depends what he does in Europe.
Sure. Most of my Arsenal friends are so gun-shy, they refuse to accept or discuss the idea of them winning the Premier League this year. And I get it. I totally get why.
So then you turn the tables on him and ask him, okay, if you don't, is your coach out?
Yeah, and they don't want to talk to me at that point.
Okay. They're on pins and needles.
I mean, he's been there a while,
yeah.
And this has been a really interesting progress. We've always talked about the process and admiring the process Arsenal has put itself through to get to this point.
Now is the time.
If they don't win it this season, especially when City's, all these other teams are sputtering and Liverpool, whatever, you've got to win it this year, right?
But what if they win Europe? What if they win the Champions League?
I think that it depends. I think you'd have to. What are the circumstances that put them in the position to lose the Premier League after being up at this point? I guess would also play a part of it as well, like injuries or something weird happening, something like that.
Your gut says they win, right?
100%.
I feel this is their year. They're deserving
Absolutely.
Far, deserving of
They've
winning.
all of the additions they made in the offseason by adding Eze and the other guy from Chelsea.
Yeah.
Multiple
contributors that are playing really high level,
and they're going to get Havertz back here sooner than later too. Like we haven't even talked
about him. That's crazy. I know.
Yeah. All right. So talking about managers and positions, obviously Chelsea is in the market, or it was in the market for a manager.
Yeah.
They fired Maresca, which is a crazy deal. But also in parallel to that, Ruben Amorim is now out. Was Amorim out last time we did the show?
I think he was let go right after, right?
Right. I think it happened after the show, so we haven't even talked about this.
Right.
So, the two situations are somewhat similar to each other, where guys got in front of the media and kind of made some noise.
Yeah, Amorim. It's almost like he knew. And have you read? I mean, I've read a few articles about the background and stuff that was going on behind the scenes, and there was a lot of friction between him, Amorim, and the front office.
Yeah.
And the directors. And
Wilcox in
ownership.
particular is a guy who had historically been an Amorim supporter, but I think a lot of the frustrations about the struggles of the team and people getting concerned over Amorim's very dogmatic approach about playing a structure and a system that was everybody else was like, this is your problem.
Yeah.
If you just do this, you'd probably be okay.
Yeah. What finally happened was that management asked them to start tweaking that dang 3-man backline we talk about, and he didn't want to, and then publicly he called out management that he has to make those calls. Blah blah blah. My question to you, because we talk so much about this Man United and Amorim's 3-man back, what is different about his 3-man backline? I know it's a 3-4-3, and most 3-man backlines are more like a 3-5-2, right?
Yeah.
So what is so different about his that is so hard to play, and why is everybody so up in arms about their team having to play it?
So Amorim's system is different than Glasner's, or what's the other one that's being played that I'm trying to think of?
Pochettino?
Well, yes. It is the structure in which he wants the team to play a lot of width, and his structure. The thing with Amorim's 3-4-3, it feels like that if you had the very best players for every single position that were executing all of these little tiny details at the finest level, they'd be an unstoppable force. But that's just not reality.
Because it's a hard formation to play.
Yeah, and the style.
But why? That's what I want to know. Like, teach me. Why is it so hard? Why is that 3-man? Why? What's the difference?
Because he doesn't set the team up to take advantage of the. Well, first off, there's a couple other things. He doesn't have the right players to play in the position, so it really requires wingbacks at a very, very high level, and they don't really have that. They've got Dorgu, whatever his name is, on the left. Yeah, Dorgu on the left side, who's young and still trying to figure it out. He's not naturally a wingback of that position.
So the four,
and they've got the other.
I'm sorry, in the 3-4-3. In the 4 in the midfield, the two wides are wingbacks.
Correct.
And so, because it's a 3-4-3, you're asking a lot of movement up and down,
and they've got to be able to be good at defensively and get ball and cross balls into the box.
That's a very tough position. Okay.
And then but the bigger problem, really struggling with them, is the idea of playing Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro as your two kind of singular center mid. So he never positions the team like a lot of other guys that play this. They will get a third midfielder in there to help out, so they're not put at a man disadvantage.
That's why it's a 3-5-2. Really,
he doesn't really do that.
He sticks to the 3-4.
So he sticks to it, and it really becomes. And when you've got two guys that are on the wrong side of 30.
Yeah, right. No, I get it. Yeah,
that's where it becomes a problem.
Okay.
So there you go. So he's out. I don't know what's going to happen at this point. Darren Fletcher is filling in as an interim. This is really crazy. I swear 3 months ago I sent Lars a note and said, what's the chance that if they fire Ruben, they bring back Solskjaer? Because, man.
Yeah. Well,
and he laughed at me and went, no.
As a caretaker, though, not as a full-time.
Correct, but for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that's going on that I think is interesting in the Premier League is the idea that front offices and ownerships are changing their attitude. Chelsea is the perfect example of this. They have gotten away from the type of manager that says, I'm running all of this. And so they've now, after Potter and now Maresca and now Rossinier.
They want coaches, not managers.
Correct. And what's interesting about the Manchester United situation is that they are talking about holding off on hiring a new full-time manager until after the World Cup. Mm-hmm. Why would you do that? Well, because after the World Cup, Thomas Tuchel, Pochettino, Carlo Ancelotti.
What do all those guys have in common?
That they are big, like, I'm going to run this ship.
Yeah, they want to be
guys,
managers.
Which is different than what I think you would expect out of the new kind of United front office.
Yeah, I think the best way to get a big-name manager and the best approach is what Liverpool did with Klopp. Because, question, was Klopp a manager or a coach with Liverpool?
100%.
No. Klopp...
No?
No, Klopp did not have... Klopp influenced the acquisitions, but did not decide the acquisitions and the sales.
Man, but I feel like Klopp had his finger on way more of the operations with Liverpool than like a Maresca did at Chelsea.
Yes, but at the very start, did he? He earned a lot of that.
Okay.
So I think you have to give these great managers a lot of say, but you can still have a balance of not having somebody just run the show for you, which some teams are.
I'm going to say for the record that I'm excited at the idea of Solskjaer coming back to run United in the interim because, and I will die on this hill, in 2019, when he was the full-time manager of this team, he had something really, really good going on with United until the Glazers and the front office forced Ronaldo back on the squad.
And
when Ronaldo got added to the team, the whole thing fell apart. The locker room went weird. Yeah. Marcus Rashford got taken out of position.
That's a fair point. You want to see him back to being able to do the things he was doing without.
You got Acuna and he's got Mbeumo and Diallo.
Why don't you write your team a letter?
I'll write a sternly worded letter. I will do that. Yes. All right. So there's some manager talk. That was satisfactory. All right. When we come back, it's a big one. Yes. World Cup nerd. Kit talk next here on the KickAround. Daniel Robertson will be joining us in about 15 minutes to talk all about Serie A. Christian Pulisic's great run over in Italy. And Andy will want to talk about ravioli. We'll do that in about 15 minutes here on the Kick Around.
You don't know. I may pick a different part of Italy to talk about with him, food related.
That's true. But now it's time to talk about the World Cup. Yeah, it's not working, apparently.
England,
There
and
we
Germany,
go.
and Spain. You got
The World Cup, Andy.
Grenada, Ghana, Guinea, Norway, Turkey,
my favorite.
Finland, Iceland.
So anyway, okay. We've been doing World Cup Nerd every week, trying to getting into nerdy, weird minutia stuff about the World Cup. But what I really love more than anything else is the whole detail that comes up with the kits, the uniforms, the jerseys, the outfits, the fashion that comes with the World Cup. What is your favorite World Cup kit of all time? Do you have one?
Yes, I'm partial to one. It's Brazil because it's the iconic yellow jersey that if you see that jersey, you identify, like the yellow with the blue shorts, you identify that's Brazil. See, I it's not like I have a one favorite one. I just love national teams that keep their jersey forevermore, and they're identified. Like Holland, you see an orange kid in a World Cup.
That's my favorite one, the Holland 78 or whatever it is with the kind of the cool pattern in the orange. That's
you
my
see
favorite.
Argentina's striped white and light blue. Automatically, that's Argentina. You know, Brazil. You know,
white with black shorts, Germany.
Right.
Yes.
Classic.
Yep.
Blue with white shorts, Italy. Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not a big fan of this changing it up every year. And if you want to get funky,
which has always been the great criticism as fans of the United States, that we can't get any kind of consistency.
You have Croatia, which with their checkered, very iconic Italian restaurant tablecloth jerseys, which are great, but they've kept it. And that's their identity now. And it's cool and it's different and it's not solid. So the U.S. having to change it every World Cup, it just drives me nuts a little bit. And I've always said, for the U.S., it's that France outfit. Blue top, white shorts, red socks. You go with that? Or
Wait, what? The what?
The French outfit or the
French
Scotland?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
The U.S.
Okay. I thought you what the U.S. wore in France. That's what I thought you were talking about.
No.
All right.
I think that should be the U.S. national team kit and then just take it for the next 6
So you
World
think
Cups.
the U.S. should wear a blue top?
I do.
And not red?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
There's a lot of red. I guess there's a lot of blue,
There's a lot of blue. Yeah, blue and red is a pretty even division. So the reason why we bring all this up this particular week is because the U.S. kits by footyheadlines.com apparently have leaked. And I think to most people's surprise, the main jersey for the U.S. is going to be a new homage to both the Waldo kits from the early aughts, which is the straight red and white hoop design, and the old wavy American flag design from '94, from way back when.
Cool.
So it's
neat.
Red and white wavy hoop design.
Okay.
You don't like this?
I told you why I don't like it. It's not that I don't like the particular design. I wish they would just pick something and be consistent with it, and that becomes your iconic kit that is identifiable.
If the United States stuck with this, would you be happy?
Sure,
with it? Because there are a lot of people out there that when they went to the what they call the Waldo design in the mid-aughts. I think it was 08.
It's the hoops, right?
It's the hoops, just red and white.
Okay.
That was people were really, really into that.
Yeah.
And so that's what's fascinating about this is will the United States end up wearing that in this tournament? I've got a weird sub part of this that I want to get into in a second. And is that a design that universally or will be beloved by a lot of people? Because remember, in the 94 World Cup, or whatever the World Cup was, 94 World Cup, the denim jersey with the white stars came out back then by Adidas. And back then, everybody kind of laughed at it and thought it was really, really ridiculous.
Yeah.
if you've somehow got your hands on one of those shirts today, you've got a very expensive piece of history.
Yeah, because of what it was, doesn't mean that we have to like it as a national team jersey for a World Cup.
Right.
I mean, would you, like, if they brought that back, boom, would you accept that as their national team jersey?
There were a lot of people that wondered if they would bring back both those designs for this World Cup since it was the design of the previous World Cup we hosted, or some variation of it. I was never a big fan of the denim star design to begin with, and I'm still not a big fan of it today. I am a fan of the idea of the U.S. wearing red and white hooped jerseys, wavy or straight.
Yeah.
I don't mind this design. I would prefer straight traditional hoops, but I'm not against this.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I agree. And then wouldn't it be cool if for the next 40 years,
that's all
every time you turned on the TV and saw a game and you saw that, you knew that was the U.S. national
team. Yes,
right?
100%.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I mean, that's been the greatest frustration as a fan of the United States, is that we can't get a consistent kit design, especially for a primary. Now, the weird thing that I'm curious about, because if you choose to go with a red and white striped shirt, the quality or overall effect of that is affected by the color of the shorts and socks you pair it with. Think back.
The look, you mean, right?
The overall look. Go back to when FC Dallas went from Bern to FC Dallas, and they wore red and white striped jerseys, but they wore it with red shorts and red socks, and it was too much red.
Yeah,
and
but
that
when they went to blue shorts, it was cool, right?
But but at the same time, the youth teams were wearing white shorts and white socks with the red and white shirt, and that looked great.
We're wearing what color shorts? White?
White. Like many of the academy teams back then were wearing white shirts with the red and white tops. And so what I'm curious about is this other part of the FIFA law in the World Cup, which is, especially in the last couple of World Cups, FIFA has really cracked down on mandating that when they get to kit assignments for games, one team wears what's called a light kit, and the other team wears what they call a dark kit. And if you're wearing a shirt that is both red and white, because red historically many times is deemed dark, for the U.S., well, let me also throw this in. The other thing that's been leaked is this second kit, which is not navy blue. It is officially carbon black, and it's like a very, very dark charcoal gray with a sublimated white stars in the pattern and some red in the shoulder. That is absolutely going to be a dark kit.
Okay.
So if you want red and white shirt to be a red and white shirt to be your light kit, you're going to have to pair it with white shorts.
Okay.
Not red, not blue.
Now, if the other team is all white, I guess you'd have to wear. Let's say the other team is yellow. You could do the red with blue shorts, the wavy shirt.
You could, yes,
with blue shorts.
It'll be interesting to see if Nike rolls out some options for them in terms of blue shorts, white shorts, and then I'm assuming kind of this carbon black color with the second kit.
So the most similar to the U.S., if this ends up being the design, the wavy hoops, the most similar uniform to that actually is Croatia's checkered, right?
Yeah.
The red and white checkered. They wear white shorts with that uniform.
Yeah, and that looks fantastic.
It looks great.
Yeah. I think the shirt, as I've seen it, there's a mock-up that has been thrown out there of Pulisic wearing the full kit, which is the red and white striped shirt with a royal blue pair of shorts, not navy, and white socks. I don't think that's correct.
Yeah.
If they come out with blue shorts, it'll almost certainly be navy blue, because that's the color that Nike's been running around for a while. There's also been a ton of other kits that have come out. The Germany kit that they've presented is
it the
white? The white with the kind of checker black design around the neck
from the 1990 World Cup.
Yeah, that looks really good. A lot of the Adidas designs have come out. Pretty predictable. Nothing really surprising out of all the Nike designs.
And is Brazil yellow?
Brazil is
and
yellow.
And is Holland orange?
Yes.
And is Argentina the white and the light blue?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. In fact, Holland is getting a second kit that is white with a horizontal orange stripe across the chest. That looks really cool. So... and then England obviously is getting their white shirt, their kind of traditional kit.
They're all white, right? That's their traditional.
And then their away kit is an interesting it's not a deep red. It's almost like a red with a white pattern of lion heads or something in it that almost makes it kind of pinkish, like a light red, not pink, with blue shorts and red socks.
Spent a lot of time studying up on all this, huh?
I got time on my hands.
Kit nerd.
You don't like the kit talk?
Yeah, no, it's fun. Your favorite kit?
Of all time?
Yeah.
As I was saying earlier, it's the Holland kit from the late 70s.
That's right. You said that.
But my favorite U.S. kit is the 98 kit with the singular car racing stripe down the one side.
The old Umbro. Was it Umbro that used to have uniforms like that back in the old day in England?
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite shirt design always is the stripe off center, off down, the vertical, single vertical stripe off center.
You know those were big back in the day, in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, yeah.
in England, they had a lot of teams had the stripe down the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Chile wearing in the World Cup?
They're going to wear red this World Cup. They always wear red. So look for them. Look for the red team at this World Cup.
coming to you soon. Sorry, I had to. That was cruel of me. And
Canada will wear red.
Yeah, boy, have you seen their red shirt? It is awful.
No, I haven't. I've seen the white. I like the white.
The red shirt has this weird. I don't know if it's supposed to be part of the maple leaf sublimated in oversized, or if it's a star, but it's not a good design.
Just do red.
Not a good design. The Mexico kit looks good. It's very traditional.
Mexico, they also went wheels off. Remember, then they switched from green to black.
Yeah.
Like, come on, that's another iconic jersey, right? They're green.
No, they've got a very traditional design with the Mexican kind of
eagle. Or
that Azteca stone face thing going kind of sublimated in the background. That's kind of cool, too. Yeah.
Wrong eagle, but yeah.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some really nice kits in this particular World Cup. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, let's get on our friend Daniel Robertson to talk all about Italy next year on the KickAround. Well, we get a bonus segment of the KickAround today, so we will spend it talking about Major League Soccer.
Oh, yeah?
I said it quietly. You seem to perk up.
No, because I know we're going to talk about it.
It's a risky programming decision on our part.
No, it's an interesting topic because of the new format that they're going to.
We'll do that in about 15, 20 minutes. First, let's go to the Diamond Factory ticket hotline where we will find our favorite Italian, not Italian, Daniel Robertson. Hello, Daniel.
Ragazzi, buon Capodanno. Happy New Year.
Daniel, were you listening to
Ciao.
Kit Talk?
I was, of course.
We're wondering, Peter and I, what kit Italy will wear in this World Cup.
Ooh, well, I mean, it has to be blue, of course. But, Andy, you're making a bold assumption that Italy will qualify.
Well, I know. I was trying to kid around. You're going to be like, they haven't really made it yet. So, which is
2014.
I know.
The last time. That's shocking. I really hope. And maybe we can come on in March to talk about the European playoffs for World Cup qualifying.
Oh,
that's going to be a lot of fun.
For sure.
Man, I think both of the international playoffs and the European playoffs coming up in March are going to be fantastic watches.
Yes, can't wait.
Especially because Italy may end up being that fourth team in a group with Canada.
Oh, that would be crazy, especially if they play the game. I think that would be played in Toronto.
Yeah, opening day in Canada.
I think that's
in
just
Toronto.
About the biggest Italian expat community in North America, right? So
yes, at
York,
one point in history, Toronto had more Italians than any city in the world except Rome.
Really?
Knowledge right there.
Man, dropping it. Oh, very good. All right. Well, we'll all keep our bated breath. Hopefully, Italy can pull that off. Because really, if we're going to have a World Cup in the United States or North America, we need the Italians in there too, don't we?
But not in Canada's group.
You there?
Maybe they haven't qualified for the knockout round since they won the World Cup or something like that. There's a crazy stat in there about that.
Yes, and in the meantime,
it is. Yep.
And in the meantime, haven't they also won the European Championship since then?
They are so all or nothing. Wembley. They are, though, historically, Italy in World Cups, all or nothing.
With Gennaro Gattuso as their manager right now, which is just Pray for them.
All right, Daniel, we brought you on today not only because we just like hearing your voice, but because we wanted to kind of dig into what is going on with our boy, Christian Pulisic, who is having a baller of a season over in your favorite country.
Yes, he is balling out right now. He's second in the league in goals, which they call the Capo Canieri, or Capo Cagnaneri, I think. It's been a little while. But he's second in goals. He has 8 goals scored, but he's averaging over 1 goal every 90 minutes, like by far the best goals per 90 minutes of anyone that, that would qualify for that in the league, because he's not playing every minute. He did start and play 90 minutes on Thursday, which is a great sign. And then they play Fiorentina tomorrow. So keep an eye on that one. I don't know if they would want to start him kind of an NBA load management back-to-back style 90 minutes, 2 games in 3 days. But, he's playing more minutes. He's got 8 goals. He's really been a super sub off the bench, which is not really a criticism because they're getting the results right now. They're second in the table. It's been a fantastic season for him so far, and he's staying healthy.
So him playing with Luka Modric, has that benefited him? Well, I mean, the fact that he's second in scoring, clearly playing in front of Modric has helped.
Well, as we've seen here in Dallas, playing with guys named Luka typically makes your game better. And so, yes, I think he's been able to focus more on not having to be as much of a playmaker. He can just get the ball in good positions and do what he does best, which is, cut on to his right foot, score goals, and not worry about too much else. And it's working for Milan in general right now. As I said, they're 3 points off Inter at the top of the table with Max Allegri as their manager this year, who – he's a guy who loves a 1-0. If you're up 1-0, he's going to – the cortomuso, as they call it in Italian, the close shaves. He loves the 1-0. So they're not going to break it out and score a bunch of goals on you. But, I think if you're a national team fan, you can't expect or ask for more than Pulisic has given so far, and let's just get through 4 more months, man. Just give us 4 more months healthy.
Yes, that's absolutely the bated breath of hoping that your best players for any national team survive the next few months. I'm curious, Daniel, while I'm sure, like me, you will be angered and frustrated by this, I'm wondering if you're also surprised or not that Pulisic has been snubbed in a lot of the list of best players in either Italy or Europe that have come out in the last few weeks.
Well, we may talk about this guy in a minute as well, who also I feel like has gotten snubbed some for kind of top Italian players that maybe it has been at his own club. But it's just one of those things where the respect is never really going to be there relative to players from other countries. I mean, it's just never going to happen. I mean, I think we see it in the NBA where, again, not to make a bunch of NBA references here, but the European players in the NBA almost never get the love that the American players do. It's normal, right? So it is frustrating in some fashion, but I'm just happy that Pulisic is playing for a manager that understands not to run him into the ground, how to keep him healthy, and how to get him scoring goals, and not just playing him every 90 minutes, which we all know would bring issues. Allegri knows how to play him in the best way, and it's bringing results.
All right. Well, you kind of made reference to him, but it's I think it's a good opportunity for us to talk about one Weston McKennie. Mm-hmm. North Texas's very own, by the way, because not only has he been playing, I mean, this is kind of the annual, death taxes and Weston's resurgence is an important piece for Juve, but we're in that kind of cycle. But there's also a lot of talk about his contract situation, him maybe leaving the club, and possibly even finding his way back here to the United States.
Yeah, it comes up every year. There's many I think, layers to the conversation with Weston McKennie, because you're talking about a guy who has, he just celebrated 200 appearances with Juventus. 200 appearances.
It's crazy.
Wow. That is nuts.
That is a very significant achievement for any player. A club who is ready to move on from someone the second they have a poor season. I think it is. And he had an interview where he did an event inside the city, and he said, this is a very significant achievement for me. They were asking him, his contract is up after this season. He makes somewhere around 3.5 million euros a year, which translates, to rapidly disintegrating, but $4.5 million a year, something like that. So the big question becomes, what are they going to do with him? I think there are many issues to this. One, it is if Juventus were to get knocked out of the Champions League really soon, I think they would be happy to move him on. If you're Weston right now, you want a 3-year or a 4-year contract. He's 27 years old, and we think of him like 27 is not old. Well, he's in his 10th European season now, or like ninth or 10th European season, right? So why, if you are Weston, if an MLS team, okay, $3 million a year used to be crazy numbers for MLS. Now, I think he would get $3 million a year, right? Like
absolutely.
Here in MLS? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so if an MLS team is coming to you and saying, we're going to give you 4 years, a 4-year contract for $3.5 million, and Juventus is telling you, hey, we'll give you that same number, but you're going to get 2 years for us. I mean, what are you going to do, right? Like, what do you have left to prove if you're Weston McKennie? When you played 300 games, you played 50 games in the Champions League. After this World Cup, is he going to make the next World Cup? So that's all the stuff that comes into it.
Is there any chance any Premier League side is interested in Weston?
I think the problem with that will come down to he's at that age, that problematic age, which is I'm going to spend money for a player that I then can't sell on at any kind of value.
Yeah. Daniel, does his versatility, positional versatility, help him or hurt him when it comes to finding a new club and a new contract?
Well, I think it's kept him at Juventus for 200 games.
It has, but at the same time, clubs that are thinking
for your next club,
no club wants to sign like the super sub, versatile guy. They want a guy really good at one position. That's typically how clubs approach.
I think there would be European clubs lining up to sign Weston McKennie for a 2-year contract. That's what I would say, right? And if you are Weston McKennie, there are MLS clubs lining up to sign you at a 4-year contract.
Is one of those clubs FC Dallas?
Well, no comments. I think that money is going towards steel prices at the moment, probably. So probably not yet. Maybe in his future. But I think if you're Weston, you're saying, I am in a position now where I've proved everything I can in Europe. I've played in 2 World Cups, knock on wood, things, he stays healthy and of course he would get on the roster. What do you have left to prove? And look, Michael Bradley, remember, he played 8 or 9 seasons in Europe. I was looking this up. He came back and played 10 more years in MLS.
Yeah, he did.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think Weston wants to play 10 more years, but I don't think it's crazy to get a lot more money and a lot of really nice years in MLS.
Imagine FC Dallas, they finish their stadium and the big marquee signing, they sign Weston. That would be incredible.
Look, if we were to find out that for this season, Dallas signed and brought back Weston McKennie, I'm going to say this publicly on the radio, I would strongly consider reacquiring my season tickets.
There you go.
That's the kind of change that will get me to start giving the Hunts my money again.
Yeah.
Yep.
That kind of commitment. And I don't care if you're building a stadium or not. Weston McKennie, a local product that started in your system, if he becomes available and he ends up going to Chicago or Philly or some other MLS team, is going to drive me nuts. Now, I realize this is a two-way street. Weston has to want to come play here. Yeah. But if it's just a dollar thing, it's like, where can I get the best deal? Man, the Hunts in my mind, they have to put out the offer. Weston, if you want to come home, we will make it worth your time.
And in MLS, he would be a stud, at least those first few years.
Of course.
Unless
he's got 5 good years left.
Unless he found barbecue again, then we'd have a problem.
Peter.
Hutchins is pretty close to the stadium.
All right, what were you going to ask, Andy?
Well,
we got to go.
Are we done with soccer? Does this have a food question for Daniel?
Throw out a food question.
So the 2 Milans, first and second place in Serie A, which just then, of course, I start thinking about food in Milan. Did you ever go to Milan and eat the Milanese in Milan?
Of course.
Yes. Is that the best?
I was in Milan a month ago.
You were in Milan a month ago?
Mark that. Yes, I was in Milan a month ago.
What? We should have had him. We should have had our correspondent calling in from Milan.
I didn't know he was there.
We should have made this whole segment about his trip to Milan and food. What are we even doing?
Let me just say, Andy, I went to a city called Annecy in France, which is across the border in the Alps, and Le Fretti, a place called Le Fretti. It had I had my first raclette. I had never had raclette, true French raclette before. Oh,
yeah,
amazing. True. And basically what raclette is, they bring you a big wheel of cheese and it's like a heating coil, and the heating coil heats up the cheese, and then you scrape the cheese onto your plate. It is,
and then just forget about the vegetables. Just all cheese, man.
All cheese, baby.
All right, awesome.
And when did you poop next after that meal?
You don't want to know about the rest.
So you definitely then had Milanese if you went to that part of the world, northern Italy, southern. Yeah, awesome.
Yes, of course.
All right,
amazing.
Good for you, man.
Thank you, Andy.
Andy is so excited about this. I don't know if he'll be able to stand up for 5 minutes.
I didn't know he had gone, man. That's awesome. That's a great trip.
Yeah. Daniel, if you're going to go to Italy, you have to tell us.
Yes.
Because Andy will want to have a dedicated segment about your trip to Italy.
And we will. Yes. And we will.
Next time.
Okay.
All right. Very good. Daniel, it's great talking to you, man. Thanks for your time and your insights.
Talk to you again soon.
Ciao.
Yes. Ciao. Ciao. Okay. When we come back, bonus kick around segment next here on the radio.
And Germany and Spain. You got Grenada, Ghana, Guinea, Norway, Turkey, Finland, Iceland, Nigeria, Ecuador.
You got so many countries just
all of them
flowing out of you.
Just gonna, Ecuador. Just gonna list all of them. I don't know. What England? What was I?
We were talking about something, and you just
Norway.
It was like you went into some sort of trance and just started listing countries.
Why is Grenada in the same conversation with like?
I don't know. But it was awesome.
Ecuador.
It's great.
Oh man!
Thanks again to Daniel for chiming in. Shame on him for not telling us that he recently went to Italy.
Jeez.
Andy is so mad at you, Daniel, because that's all he would have wanted to talk about for an entire show is your trip to Italy. All right, welcome back. We got a bonus segment of Kick Around to do until is there an NFL game coming up, EA? What's up next?
We have Dallas Stars pregame.
Oh, Dallas Stars.
Peter.
God, I'm an idiot. Sorry,
Star
Dixon.
Station.
Dixon's in there shaking his head. He's so
Peter's your
mad
hero,
at-
and
I
this
forgive you.
Okay.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yes.
You can't be
Don't
mad
stop.
at Peter.
That's
Don't
right.
stop. This is awesome.
Dixon's my friend. All right. So, yes, we are going to take the risky programmatic decision to talk Major League
come on.
Soccer.
Get off that. This is I know we
Played the power down sound effect.
we briefly talked about the changes that are coming. I think we had a whole segment when it was first announced, but it fell right around the time that I went to MLS Cup, and we were talking about that and the draw, and so we didn't really
I'm curious,
expand on that too much.
When you went to MLS Cup, because this has all been announced, what was the general vibe amongst the MLS front office people that you hang out with? Are they overly enthusiastic about
hanging
this?
out with them?
Oh, you weren't?
No, because the draw happened the day before, so I basically flew in, went to the game. Because my time was tight.
Oh, you didn't
I
get
was
to hang
involved
out
with World Cup
the Garbers
stuff.
of the world?
Yeah, no, and you know what? I think a lot of MLS types also were kind of involved with draw things, so it was a little bit more of a pared down MLS Cup in terms of attendance.
It wasn't the booze, hookers, and cocaine fest it always normally is.
And it was out in Fort Lauderdale too, and it's an interesting stadium they have there. Have you seen the pictures? Sorry, not to digress, but the pictures of what because that's where the original Miami franchise played, right?
Right, the Fusion.
Lockhart Stadium is what they called it.
Yep, and the Fort Lauderdale Strikers back in the day before then.
Did you see pictures of how it looked once they let it go before they renovated it?
Yeah, it looked like a ghost town.
I cannot believe
weeds and the whole.
I can't believe that they took it from that to what it was. It was a nice little venue.
Man,
they're going to move.
And
but
Inter Miami is getting their new stadium
next
in
season.
Miami downtown. I have a sister-in-law that lives not far from there, so I may have to make a road trip to see the new stadium.
Call up your buddy Messi for tickets.
Yeah, sure.
Leo
Will give me tickets.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
Not much, man. I'll be giving you a shout later. Anyway, so we wanted to talk about the fact that we really haven't gotten into the nuts and bolts of this upcoming new structure. It's not happening this season, and then we get this weird oddity at the start for the first half of 2027. There's going to be a mini season.
Yeah. So explain why. Is because there's the calendar change to the MLS season. So now the season will be played when the change happens from fall to spring as opposed to through the summer.
Yeah, so the new season is about to start. In fact, teams are getting ready to meet up to start preseason this week.
Yeah, the change hasn't happened yet.
No, so we'll go February to December in 2026. And then,
with a break for World Cup.
And then with a break in the middle for World Cup. And then after that, there will be a tiny little break. And then they'll play a 14-game season to start 2027.
You can't visually see Peter right
Peter's
now.
making little
but he's twerking his
finger.
body to show how small 14 is.
Of course, FC Dallas will win their one MLS Cup in the mini season. That will always be
we'll have the asterisk?
arrive with the asterisk. Yes,
we'll take it.
That's right. We will take it. That's right. And Weston McKennie will be its captain.
So that'll be a spring season, and that'll count as a 2027 season.
Right. And then in August of that year, of 2027, they will start a new season, and it will follow the international calendar. This is something people have wanted MLS to do forever and ever. There are tons of pros and cons that come with it. I tend to be on the side of more pros than cons. Yep. Obviously, the con is the concern about the winter. Now, this is the one thing that I'm really curious to watch, which is how does American sports culture handle a pro league stopping down for essentially 2 months in the middle of a season?
Will it be as much as 2 months?
It's 6-7 weeks, somewhere in there. So, this Germany has done this for a long time. This is something that is embedded in a lot of soccer cultures in Europe. Yeah. It's going to be weird for the United States. So here's a great example. Now, I don't know if this is a fair example because it's so off the sports radar, but the USL's top-tier women's league, the USL, which Dallas Trinity is a part of, is currently doing this model. And it's already a league that isn't followed a ton, doesn't have a ton of, attention paid to it. But, man, when they stop down for their winter break, it's crickets.
Yeah. It'll be interesting how the league approaches it from a marketing point of view and an activation and fan engagement. I'm sure they have plans on how to keep attention and eyeballs thinking about MLS during that time.
Every MLS player has to go out and knock on 100 doors in their home market.
That used to happen. Dallas Tornado, Dallas Sidekicks. I mean,
back in the day, yes.
That's what you had to do to keep it going.
So that's one part of all of this change. And obviously the big difference is the fact that now suddenly transfer windows are aligned with the rest of the world, and the opportunity to buy and sell players becomes a bigger issue, an opportunity.
And you don't have players in the middle of the season wanting to transfer out, and you lose a player in the middle of the season.
Yes, hence FC Dallas.
The league is now making a lot more money from revenue from transfer revenues, so this will help that as well. It's going to be more money that can be reinvested into the product. So I think in that regard, it's good. And the other bit of news that came out of this as well that benefits, and I'm not talking about the structure and the single table. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm talking about the change to the Apple TV, which is significant.
Yeah,
here.
This is the big, out of all of the news, other than the calendar, I think this is the biggest piece of news, which is starting with this season, Apple TV and MLS have decided to remove the additional subscription wall.
Yep.
So if you are an Apple TV subscriber, meaning you get Ted Lasso, Pluribus, Severance, you will now get all of the entire MLS package, which is a really big deal because it suddenly removes that barrier to entry for a lot of people that exist.
I think that'll help.
Yeah, and that starts this year, so that's a big plus. So the other thing is they're going to change the structure. So instead of it being an Eastern Conference and a Western Conference, it's going to go to a single table but it wouldn't be MLS if it didn't have a janky little additional
feature
too,
Yeah.
which is they're going to divvy all 30 teams up into 5 regions of 6 teams.
Wait, you said single table. We're going to have conferences and divisions?
Yeah, I don't. Well, because you can't do single table and have everybody play each other home and away once, and have you end up playing like a 40-game season.
Right.
So here you go. Dallas, there's lots of rumors how this is going to play out. Most people tend to think Dallas will end up in a region with Austin, Houston, the 2 LAs, and San Diego.
Yeah. And it's all single table, but you play those teams in your region twice.
And then you play everybody else once.
Yeah.
And you'll switch from season to season. And
the home and away thing.
Home and away. Like you'll play New York here and then New York there next year.
And the first question that comes to mind, single table, how will the playoffs work? They haven't determined. They haven't told us yet. That's still TBD.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that'll be a delight to figure out, or
whoever has to come up with a solution, instead of just taking the top 8.
Yeah, so there's a lot of change coming up with the league, and this season is the last of the traditional calendar, MLS calendar, that we will experience before they flip it over and run the little mini season. So that'll be really interesting to watch as this moves along. When it comes to Dallas, remember, they're in the middle of a stadium reconstruction. That project is well underway, and we anticipate that the stadium will be done in time for the launch of the start of the
mini season.
No, this is 2027 fall season.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
all
when.
Right. For the official start.
There's some concern that they may not be done until 2028, but I'm sure they're shooting so that when they kick off that new season that starts in August of 27, that's when the stadium is open.
All right.
Full. Yeah,
I like it. I think I'm definitely on the side of this being a positive. I think you are too. Overall,
I think it. Yes, I think it's a big. I believe it will ultimately benefit the league more than anything they've done in the first 30 years. I think this will be a big.
Oh, really?
Bonus.
Wow.
Yes, I do.
More than the stadiums. Okay.
Oh, okay. Maybe not the stadium. Gosh, damn it. All right. Well, thank you to Daniel for calling in and giving Andy Italy excitement. Thank you to Mr. Dixon for all of his excellent tickers. Thank you to EA for producing. And thank you to Connor, dear sweet Connor, for all those funny drops and for him being him. We are back next week again, noon to 2:30, I have been told. So P1s, tune in then, please. Don't forget, we love and adore you. Go on out there, get stuck in, win your 50s.
Ecuador